Hello, everybody. I'm starting kind of early right now. I was all like, you know what? I'm just ready to start and talk to the people. So I was all like, we might as well just go ahead and get this thing going. But what's up, everybody? Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Y'all already know what to do. Also, I want to say don't forget about the meetup in Vegas, April 10th through the 12th. I can't wait to meet you guys. Please be there. We will have a good time, and hopefully I don't spend up all my money at the slot machine. But anyway, let's go ahead and get the show started. But before I do that, I do want to say rest in peace to Miss Shirley. For those of you who don't know her, she was known as Beauty to the Streets. She has her own nonprofit where she is giving out food, candy, supplies, as far as toiletries and stuff like that to the unhoused, the homeless. She was known as somebody who was very important to her community. She was in LA and then she moved to Nevada, but she still had her business in LA. And she even came up here to the Bay Area a couple of times to feed the homeless. So, yeah, they said she was 58 years old. She was found in her home. They did a wellness check. She was found near her bed. So, unfortunately, she passed away. What was so crazy was that right before, she actually had talked about how she got drugged a few months ago. She said she went to a party, drank something, and then she don't remember what happened after that. And it's just crazy how a few months later, now she's gone. And yeah. And I've always wanted to know, how do you help people and stuff like that. So I went ahead and made my donation. I did check. It seems like they are going to continue the business. So it's not, it's not over with. It's not done. But I do want to say rest in peace to Miss Shirley. The link is pinned on top if you guys do want to donate, and go check out the page too as well. If you guys don't know or unfamiliar with Miss Shirley. All right, you guys, let's get started with the show. Hello, everybody. What's up? It's your boy AT2, bringing you another episode to Talk the Real Deal with AT2. How everybody doing? How everybody living? How everybody feeling? Let me say what's up to the people before we start. What's up, Lady Letitia? How you doing? What's up, V? What's up, Denitria? Thank you for holding it down, and thank you for sharing the links too as well. I appreciate that. And we will be doing Twitch right after this, so make sure you guys are subscribed to the Twitch. Where'd you put that link? Oh, it's right here. Yeah, make sure you guys go ahead, subscribe, follow, get a subscription, give me some money, all that good stuff. What's up, Aaliyah? What's up, Sensible Gold? How you doing? Marlon, what's up, Marlon? What's up, Carla? What's up, Kita? Hello. What's up, Miss Kitty? So, what's up, Patrick? Texas has the largest Nigerian population. Okay, I'm not sure what that has to do with what we got going on today, but thank you for that information. Anyway, so today I had to touch grass. People love to say the expression touch grass. I'm at the point where I don't like antics anymore. And I want to go ahead and give you guys a big apology from the bottom of my heart. If you've ever felt like AT2 has been a part of the shit or the antics, and I didn't take things seriously when I should have taken things seriously. But I don't know if it's just because I'm a little older and I'm more mature now. A lot of these antics that I see, as far as, especially on YouTube, I don't have fucking time for it. But in real life, I'm like, it's getting real serious out here. It's dangerous. And I'm not trying to scare you guys, but it's fucking dangerous. It's not safe to go fucking outside. And excuse my language, but I have to wake and shake some of you so you realize that this is not a game. You know? The first story that I'm going to start with is actually the two congressmen, Ilhan Omar and Maxwell Frost. So Maxwell Frost, he's the rep in Florida. There's not a video of what happened, but he was punched in the face and assaulted at the Sundance Film Festival. I guess there was this guy throwing racial, epithets at him, saying that he was going to get deported. I think he's Puerto Rican, if I'm not, if I'm getting it confused. But whether or not he's a citizen, he's allowed to be here. But, somebody was all like, Trump is going to deport you. And it was some disgruntled guy who came and then punched him in the face. But I was like, whoa, like, this is getting really serious out here. You are getting assaulted. And I always thought if you were some congressman or something like that, I thought you automatically had like security and people with you, but it's not like that. Even Jasmine Crockett has talked about how she had to get fitted for a bulletproof vest because they have to pay for their own. If you're the president, vice president, something like that, in like their family, yeah, they get Secret Service, but not all Congress people get Secret Service. Listen, that's a dangerous job. And I'm not going to compare it to, people who serve in the military and stuff like that. I'm not trying to compare it, but in this kind of climate, it's a dangerous job. Now, there is a video of Ilhan Omar, and, some people are like, oh, she just got sprayed. But what if that was acid? But not even just that, you guys. That's a woman. That's a woman. We're out here just assaulting women. I mean, I shouldn't be shocked. I mean, shit. It happens all the time. But it's crazy just thinking about that. I'm going to go ahead and play you guys a video if you guys didn't see it. This happened yesterday at her town hall.
ICE cannot be reformed. It cannot be rehabilitated. We must abolish ICE for good. And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment. I don't know.
Oh my God, he sprayed something on her.
I need a napkin to know nothing. No, we will continue.
No. Ilhan, you need to go get checked.
No, we will continue. These fucking assholes are not going to get away with it.
You need to go get checked. No, I don't know what. That's whatever it is smells so bad. She needs to go get checked. I don't know
that's
what that
that's
was.
what they want. Please don't let them.
It's not about him, Ilhan. Ilhan, it's not about him. It's about your safety. No, he sprayed something on you. You need to go get checked. Yeah, and it smells terrible.
We're gonna keep talking. Just give me 10 minutes. Just give me 10 minutes. I beg you. Please don't let them have the show. 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 Here is the reality that people like this ugly man don't understand. We are Minnesota strong, and we will stay resilient in the face of whatever they might throw at us. Everybody settle down. I'm going to finish my remarks. It is important for me to continue to lead my Democratic colleagues in demanding her resignation.
So here's my thing about that. That guy, she was too easily accessible, you know. Granted, they still haven't said what the substance was, But just the fact that he got that close enough to be able to spray her with whatever, and it could have been pee. I don't know. They said it smelled bad. But you know, I commend her for continuing, but fuck that. Hell no. It would have been over right there. And the fact that he was able to get that close to her before somebody snatched him up. I mean, thank God they were able to tackle him down, but you know, like, what is going on where these people think it's okay to put your hands on, you know, some politician? I mean, this isn't the first time, you know, like, let's not act shot like, oh, this has never happened. But we had the situation with Maxwell Frost getting assaulted at the at Sundance, and then we have this situation at her own town hall where she's supposed to be talking to her constituents, and this guy spray her with something. And like I said, what if it was acid? And especially with her, I know Minneapolis is a part of her area, but I don't know what other, you know, areas that she represents, but Minneapolis being the biggest one, and especially with everything going on, I would have definitely had extra protection or some gap to where people couldn't just get to me. Because again, there could be some crazy weirdo like that guy was. And mind you, they talked to his neighbor, and he mentioned something to his neighbor about, oh, well, you know, can you watch my dog? I might get arrested. And the neighbor just kind of laughed it off like, ha ha ha, whatever. Oh no, he was planning on doing something stupid. And again, like, that's a woman. And let me tell you, she was pretty bold. She ran, you see, she ran to him, but he was already tackled on the ground by the time she got to him. But just the fact that somebody like that can do that to a politician, like, at this point, they don't give a damn. If you don't have security or have people to act quickly, you basically SOL. You got to fend for yourself out in these streets. It ain't safe for nobody. And I think this kind of is where I'm at right now, where it's all like, yo, the world, it's always been crazy. Don't get me wrong. I'm not pretending like this is a new thing. But when you see it so much and it's coming just at you one after the other, it really just affects your mental, you know? It really does. And it makes you be more on edge, more aware of your surroundings, which I'm always aware of my surroundings, especially me living in an inner city. I'm always, you know, aware of what's going on and, you know, always looking, but it makes you be extra cautious to what's going on. Something else that I hadn't really talked about because I was kind of like, okay, I don't get it or I don't understand it. However, it has gotten to the point where it's all like, okay, now it's offline. T.S. Madison versus the DL Whisperer. So I guess the DL Whisperer is like, he talks about the DLs, I guess. That's what he does. But he's like an internet personality, and he's been going after T.S. Madison and the other trans people. And he's kind of like, he basically has propped himself as the defender of women. Well, he claimed that T.S. Madison was the one that got him fired from his job. And so what he decides to do is ride around her neighborhood by her house. And I'm like, whoa, this shit is getting real. Now, do I think that he would be stupid enough to come outside and like knock on the door? No, but it's the fact that he was able to find where she was and ride by her house like it's a game. It's not a game. And like people are cheering it on, and I'm all like, are y'all mentally ill? Like, do y'all not remember Vegas? Put a 1 in the chat. I'm not even going to say the situation. 1. Put a 1 in the chat if you remember what happened in Vegas last year. Automatically, when I hear like somebody say, "Oh, I'm gonna go to your house," or "I'm gonna go here, do this, do that," I think of Vegas. I'd be damned if I lose my life over some stupid internet shit. And and somebody like the DL Whisperer, from what I gather, he was happy with his 15 seconds of fame, not 15 minutes, 15 seconds of fame, and thought this was cool. But where are the people to like pull him in and be all like, "Hey, like, I don't think that's safe. I think that's dangerous." And Maddie will talk about having guns and having to protect herself and stuff like that, And by the way, in California, you can have a gun. Like, you just have to get it registered and stuff, but you can have a gun. It's weird when people say like, "Oh, well, I live here and we got guns," and yeah, you can have one here too, by the way. But anyway, that's besides the point. And so I look at Madison, like, why is your home so accessible? And granted, I can't afford to live where she lives. She lives in a very expensive home, but you also need to pay for your safety. You need to be living in a gated community. Your home is way too accessible. Yes, you got a lot of land, but motherfucker, where's a fence? I don't see a fence around it. Like, it looks just open to where anybody can do something. Like, that's not safe. Like, you need to pay for your safety. And then on the other side of the coin, it's all like, well, you're not expecting the people to come to your house and do stupid shit like that. So it's all like, why does she have to move in a gated community just because there's some weirdo online going to her house? I get that argument too as well. But also, I'm thinking like her mom, Miss Mary is there a lot at her. So what if T.S. Madison is gone? And I hate to even put that out there in the universe, but that's a real kind of conversation. Not kind of, it is a real conversation. It's different when it's just you. This is why I'm so protective over my home. Y'all like to say, "Oh, you live in your uncle's house, you live in your uncle's house." Yeah, but my uncle is protected. I'll tell you that. He ain't got to worry about shit. I'll tell you that. But again, like, sometimes you have to pay for safety, Oh, and trust me, when I get my mansion, it's going to be somewhere behind a gated community because you weirdos is not coming nowhere near me, right? But again, you shouldn't even have to worry about things like that. On the internet, you have to worry about people doxing you, giving out your personal information, showing your kids, showing your family, and doing stupid shit. I hate that you even have to think about shit like this, but you do. And it's not right. And like, somebody needs to talk to the DL Whisperer and be like, "Hey, hey, that was funny, ha ha ha. I hope you got your rocks off, but this is not a game. Because you definitely could have got your head blown off. And still, are you really safe? Because you got to think about it too. These people have fans. You think they don't see you out one of her fans see you out somewhere and they don't try or do something to you? And that's beyond her control. So it's not like she can tell them to stop or not do anything. If one of her fans, you got to think about that when you talk about certain people. Like, they have fans, they have an audience, they have people who like them and are willing to do anything. You got to think about shit like that. So yeah, it was a moment. It was funny and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, that situation in Vegas started out, oh, it was supposed to be funny. And 2 people lost their lives because one guy took it off the internet and was all like, which he was crazed and deranged to himself. And so again, a lot of these people that you think, oh, they're just playing a character, they're not actually like this and blah, blah, blah. No, some of the motherfuckers are crazy. They are crazy. Not everybody is raised like me and you with some damn sense, right? So you got to think about, some people don't have all their screws. They 2 chips short from a cookie. Motherfuckers are crazy. You know? And so even though nothing happened, it's just a thought like, whoa, like this is getting a little weird. Like this ain't even a situation like, oh, I seen you out somewhere, so I came and did that. No, this is I came to your home, and mind you, he wasn't stupid enough to get out the car, right? He just drove by. He wasn't stupid enough to get out the car. But even just with that thought process, if you come to my home, if you're driving by my home, I'm taking that as a threat. Put a 1 in the chat. If someone drives by your home, you taking that as a threat. You know, like T.S. Madison lives at the end of a cul-de-sac. So you had to purposely go on a cul-de-sac. You know? That's what it looked like. It looked like at the end of a cul-de-sac. If you coming by my cul-de-sac, you know, have you ever accidentally was trying to find your way around somebody's house and then you go on the cul-de-sac and you make like a U-turn or whatever, and then people looking at you like, bitch, I just went down the wrong street. I'm not trying to bother you. But people get crazy when you come down their cul-de-sac. You know? It's not safe. That's not something that people should be applauding. And, you know, and here's my thing, because as I understand the DL Whisperer, he has been going after the trans community and he calls them out and be like, oh, you a man, come and fight me and all this other shit, right? But here's the thing with the DL Whisperer. This is the same man who wears lip gloss on his lips and have these nails and stuff like that. And it's all when they see you, they still see a fairy. They're not looking at somebody like, oh yeah, that's a man, that's a real man. No, you probably, they would probably call you a maggot too, and replace maggot with the F word, and you know what I'm saying, right? They would probably call you the same thing. It's not like you're masculine out here saying, oh, I'm defending women. No, they would call you a bati boy and everything else too. They don't really like you like that. You look like a fucking fool, you know, and because I know Claudia, she's very sensitive, but when it was Claudia, her and T.S. Madison got into that thing. Well, they didn't get into a thing. They were able to resolve it, but Maddie had called her out because I guess she was liking the DL Whisperer posts and stuff like that. My thing about that is not everybody online is friends. They're not, just acquaintances. And the kind of loyalty that you expect from people, you don't get it in return. You know, I had a falling out with somebody recently, and what they decided to do was go to my ops and give them all our DMs and stuff like that. And I'll talk about that on Twitch after the show. And, granted, I was upset about it, and I still am. And I just realized, people don't treat me the same way that I treat them. So it's best to leave them alone. And I'll go into more detail on Twitch. So make sure you guys subscribe to the Twitch. Okay, let me take this down real quick. And then I want to pull up this because Alex Pretty, they had found another video of Alex Pretty from something that happened on the 13th. He had an interaction with ICE. And so now they're saying, oh, well, this guy, you could see he was violent. And so this is why he got what he got. And so I just want to play the video and then I'll give you my thoughts after. Okay, here we go.
This is a moment the news movement filmed on January 13th in Minneapolis, showing a man who appears to be Alex Preddy interacting with federal immigration agents 11 days before Border Patrol shot and killed him.
Shit.
Our footage was analyzed by the BBC, whose facial recognition technology confirmed his identity to a 97% degree of accuracy. On the morning of January 13th, our team received a tip that federal agents were blocking a street at the corner of East 36th and Park Avenue in Minneapolis. We arrived around 10:15 a.m. We saw observers shouting at the agents as they walked back to their vehicles. When they started driving away, the man kicked their taillight. An agent then got out of the vehicle, grabbed him, and pushed him to the ground. During the altercation, agents fired tear gas and pepper balls into the crowd. They continued to hold the man down before they retreat, and he walks away. The man in our footage is wearing a similar outfit to what Preddy was wearing on the day he was killed. What appears to be a gun is also visible above his waistband.
You see, oh, let me rewind it back because you can see the gun right there. Right there, you guys. That's Alex on the far left right there. You see his gun right there. So it's crazy, this situation right here, they did not shoot him. And he had his gun. He wasn't showing it or anything like that. Remember, they hopped on him, took off his jacket and everything like that. So that's why the gun is exposed. But he didn't brandish the gun the last time when he was killed either.
Here, he continues to stand at the scene. On the day he was killed, the Department of Homeland Security claims Preddy, a 37-year-old ICU nurse, approached officers holding a handgun. That claim has been contradicted by analysis of bystander videos from multiple news investigations, which concluded that Preddy was holding a phone, not a gun, when he was pinned to the street. Shortly after the altercation we filmed here on January 13th, federal agents drove away. Soon after that, we left the scene.
All right, so let me go ahead and give you my thoughts. That still doesn't justify them killing him. Mind you, this was on the 13th, so this was week prior. So with knowing that, okay, well, that had nothing to do with the situation that happened over the weekend. And it's all like they want to use this video to try to justify what happened, but it doesn't justify what happened at all because we were able to see with our own two eyes. Now, what's interesting is that they went ahead and released this video, but it still doesn't change my mind about what happened. He didn't deserve to die. At the moment when he was killed, he was trying to help a woman up who they had pushed down to the ground and pepper sprayed. Then he got pepper sprayed and then they tossed him on the ground. So even with this video, okay, he kicked out their tail light. Even if he was aggressive at that time, that still does not give them a right to kill him. So it still doesn't matter. Like this video right here, it didn't change my mind. Like, if anything, it was like, oh, okay. So what? And again, like you guys said, we didn't see what happened prior. We know from the narrator, he said that the ICE they were blocking off the street. And as you've seen, they were screaming like, get the F out of here, go home, bye, leave. So if anything, we don't even know the full story to this. But even with him kicking out their tail light, and notice he had his gun on him, and they, the narrative that they're trying to say is that he showed his weapon, or he was going to use it. He had it that time and he didn't use it. So what now? It still doesn't give them an excuse. And what's crazy is that we've seen this situation on camera with Alex Preddy. We've seen this situation on camera with Renee Good, But the one that we haven't seen the situation with on camera is Keith Porter. They are claiming with Keith Porter, there was no video. For those of you who don't know what happened, he had shot off his gun for New Year's. And what happened was that an off-duty ICE agent was trying to find out where the shot came from, investigated the situation himself, which isn't that what local police is supposed to do? Not some off-duty ICE agent. Had seen Keith and shot him. And I don't know how we can even believe the story because we didn't see it on camera. But the fact that this man was at his own home, Keith Porter, and we don't even know what the confrontation was or could have been. That's the scary part. And we may never know the truth and what really happened. All we know is that they're claiming that there was no video. Was there truly no video, or did they get rid of the video? That's the story. Was there really no video, or did they get rid of the video? Did anyone have a Ring camera? You know, that's the thing. A lot of people have Ring cameras nowadays where it might not pick up the situation, but at least there be some kind of recording or something. You know what I mean? And mind you, he died on New Year's Eve, but he had just recently been buried on the 23rd. And their group's still trying to get justice for him. Because this was just a situation that we didn't know about this until after Renee Good, you know? That's the sad part. We didn't know about this until afterwards. I know I didn't hear about it. Like, a lot of people didn't hear about this. We were all left in the dark. And now there was information on the actual guy who shot him. So allegedly, he's actually a racist and also a domestic violence abuser.
Court filing was made public and
So I want to go ahead and play this for you guys. Let me remove this real quick. Here we go.
Identifies the off-duty ICE agent that killed Keith Porter Jr. in LA on New Year's Eve. The ICE agent's name is Brian Palacios. He had lived in the same apartment complex where Keith Porter Jr. was killed. Federal officials had said that this ICE agent was responding to an active shooter, but people on the scene, like his family and his friends, said that Keith was firing a gun into the air to celebrate the new year. Is that illegal? Yes, but is the punishment for this death? No. There was no body cam footage and there was no security footage. And because this agent was federal, they did not release his name immediately like they usually do at the LAPD. But now that we have his name, this is where things start to get darker. In that same court filing, there were allegations that he would beat and whip his children, that he would use racist and homophobic slurs, that he would bring guns to youth events, and that there was actually a judge who barred him from being around children. Keith Porter Jr. was a father. He was loved. Now he's gone. And the question is not only what happened that night, but it's why was a man with a documented history of racism and abuse allowed to remain an ICE agent? And why, even after he ended up killing somebody, have there been no consequences? And here we are, once again, being asked to just trust their narrative. Court filing was made public and it identifies the off-duty ICE agent that killed Keith Porter Jr. in LA on New Year's Eve. The ICE agent's name is Brian Palacios. He had lived in the same apartment complex where Keith Porter Jr. was killed. Federal officials had said that this ICE agent was responding to an active shooter, but people on the scene, like his family and his friends, said that Keith was firing a gun into the air to celebrate the new year. Is that illegal? Yes, but is the punishment for this death? No. There was no body cam footage and there was no security footage. And because...
Okay, I want to show you guys what he looks like, the actual killer. Let me put it up on the screen for you guys. because we need to make sure that we plaster this all over what the actual killer looks like. There he is. He looks pretty racist to me. I believe it. Everything they, yeah, I believe it. This ugly, misshaped motherfucker. It's always the ugly, misshaped motherfuckers who are the racist, right? It's always them. It's always them. Mind you, I've been looking to see where he is. Does he still work for ICE? Like, where is, like, there's no information. Just like the Jonathan Ross guy who shot Renee Good, they went ahead and moved everything out his house and moved him somewhere. We don't even know where the Jonathan Ross who shot Renee Good, we don't even know where he is. Yeah, I think he might be Mexican, you guys. I wasn't sure if Palacios, if that was Italian, possibly. I don't know. But not black. So there you have it. Which, if he was Italian or Mexican, both of those wouldn't surprise me at all. But this was his killer, or is his killer. You disgusting piece of shit. No good is going to come to... Yeah, Super Mario looking at it, right. No good is going to come to Super Mario. I hope you don't sleep. I hope you don't get any rest. You don't deserve it. You disgusting, vile piece of shit. This is what happens when you have people trying to play cop. And this is the problem with ICE. It's just a whole bunch of people. Like, I heard the training is only 45 days. And literally, they're just taking anybody. I mean, hell, we complain about our police, right? But at least we know they went through thorough training. Now, is it the best? No. But at least we know, like, it took more than 45 days for them to be a motherfucking cop. And you got these ICE agents acting like cops. What happened to you? Why are American citizens dying? If you're supposed to be getting the immigrants and everything like that, how are the American citizens dying? And I'm not even saying that it's okay for the immigrants to die, because they're dying too, by the way. You guys have put a 1 in the chat if you heard stories about how, like, they're not getting medical care and, you know, they're being basically left to die in those detention centers. There's plenty of stories. And what's crazy is that Trump has had the most deaths in 1 year. Like, I'm not going to say it's uncommon for people to die from ICE, but he has had the most in 1 year. I believe it was 31. Let me see if I can find that information real quick, you guys. And I apologize. I should have had it for you guys already. I believe it was 31 people as of last year, by the way, 31 people. Usually it's like 6 or 7. Like, it happens under every president. You can't just blame it on just one president. But under Trump, 31 people have died from ICE. Got it, found it. Is this it? Ooh, these are the numbers from all the way up to 2020. Oh, got it. Okay, I just want to show you guys this real quick. Remove that. 47 days to represent a pedo in chief is what I saw somewhere for ICE training. Right. That's wild. 45 days. Okay, can you guys see this? I just want to make sure you guys see it. Okay, so here we go. Deaths in ICE custody. 2021, there was 5. 2022, there was 3. 2023, there was 7. 2024, there was 11. And then underneath Donald Trump, there was 31. And then they actually have the list down here so you can compare. So 2004 to 2007, that was Bush. So there's 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then it said ICE began improving tracking this year in 2007. Then in 08, this was Obama year 6, 9, 7, 5, 8, 7, 11. There was a 11. And so in 2014, there seemed to be an uptick. 2015, 6, 2016, 10. Then 2017, this is when we get into the Trump years. It goes 17, 15, 21, then 2020, 19. Wait, hold on. In 2019, it says another peak linked to the policy changes and expanded enforcement. So this must have been around the kids in cages and stuff like that. Now in 2020, when it was 19, it does say impacted by COVID-19 outbreak. So that does make sense. And then 2021, this is when Biden takes over, 18, 14, 12. And then it's a preliminary figure, full data pending final ICE report. So there could be more, right? But then we go back to here. It says 31 as in the year of Trump. Yeah, I believe it's deliberate. Because another situation that we haven't talked about was Liam Ramos. That's the 5-year-old who was detained with his father. And, and that's a serious conversation because I feel not incomplete, what I want to say, impartial. So the story is that the dad, he was on the list to be deported, right? So the dad had a son. He runs off because he's seen ICE coming. And so he left his son. So then they had his son or whatever. And so they were telling the mom, they were like, hey, you want your son, come outside and get your son. And like the neighborhood was outside and they're all like, no, don't do it. It's a trick. So the mom is pregnant and she has a teenager. Because I was feeling like, wait, so the mama didn't try to go out there and get her son, but the neighborhood was basically saying, no, they intervened, which I don't know why they couldn't let the little boy walk to the home, or they couldn't just give the little boy to a neighbor, which makes sense of when you think about it. Yeah, they were trying to lure the mom in with the son to then take her and put her in a detention center, which this family does not have a criminal record. They were actually asylum seekers. What's going on with a lot of the asylum seekers since Trump had ended that, it's been tough for them to get their paperwork, just like the people who are married. I thought when you got married, you became a citizen. Didn't you think that? Put a 1 in the chat. When you marry, I thought you automatically become a citizen. No, like you still got to go through the process. I guess it gets you a little boost, but you still got to go through the process, right? So those people who Biden gave them the parole so they can stay in the country, Trump came and ended that shit. He was like, bye, you out of here. So those people who they spouse voted for Trump, yeah, blame your spouse for getting you deported. Goodbye. That's what happened. So again, these people were seeking asylum. That's why. And so the little boy ended up going with his father, getting detained, and then they went to Texas or whatever, right? But here's the thing. The judge blocked the deportation, but they're still stuck in the detention center. And so what they're doing now is basically just holding them there. So while the courts, fight or they block the deportation, They're just holding them there. They're not releasing them. Now, this facility that they went to is supposed to be quote unquote better. Like it's a family detention center and not like a prison or something like that. But still, being in a detention center isn't great. You know, we've seen the pictures. We've seen the video. It's not somewhere you want to be. So, yeah. Seeking asylum is legal. And, you know, and I think people are thinking like, oh, these people snuck in through the border. Not everyone sneaks in the border. Like they actually go to the border to try to seek asylum from domestic violence, cartels, political, not political imprisonment, but I forgot what the actual term is, but it's political. Like say if you live in like, you know, in Cuba, because it was a communist country, they had a path to citizenship because of that. It's some kind of technical word that I can't think of, but I'll let you guys know after the show. But yeah, those are reasons why you can seek asylum. So again, so technically they were legally here. What's up, Jocelyn? How you doing? Or Joycelyn. I always want to say Jocelyn Hernandez, but you know. What's up, beautiful? I see you too. Shout out to all my members, by the way. Make sure you guys get a membership. All right, so y'all ready to talk about Nicki? So Nicki Minaj. So as you guys know or may not know, she got her Trump gold card. And she made it clear. You know, we like to be clear around here. That she got it for the free 99. She got it for the low. Oh, I was right the first time. It's Jocelyn. Okay, cool. So yeah, she got her her gold card. So now she's finishing out her paperwork so she can become a citizen. So if this is all what it was for, Nicki has the money and the resources for her to get her paperwork. A lot of the reasons why people have a tough time becoming a citizen because you have to have a lawyer, you have to file a lot of paperwork, and you know what filing a lot of paperwork constitutes to? Having the money, the funds. Now, something that this makes me think about is I don't think Nicki is actually married to her husband. I mean, legally married to her husband. Because if anything, she should have had the access to go ahead and get that done. Was it that you never cared until you seen Trump deporting people? And then, you know, that's why I'm all like, you guys, something is off about this. Something is off. Why was she not able to get her, you know, her funds? Why, you know, she couldn't get the, like, she been here since she was little. I think 5 years old, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys. But of course now her, Trump, racist Katie Miller are doing TikToks and Instagram reels. And now, you know, she said she was always MAGA too. Which I don't know how people didn't see it. I think some of y'all who are barbs just didn't care. Y'all didn't want to, one, y'all didn't care, two, y'all didn't want to see it. One, you don't care, two, you didn't want to see it. Which is sad, you know? Because here's the thing. I think as long as Nicki Minaj had the same views that she has now, but just didn't voice them, you guys would still be following her and everything else. for me, and some of you guys have said it in the chat, I feel like she is trolling. Like, don't get me wrong. I think she does. You have to kind of believe in what you're saying, right? You have to kind of believe it, right? But I do feel like she is trolling. I feel like this is her get back at getting at the at Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, because they were capping for the Democrats. And so she's all like, okay, y'all did that. Now I'm going to go over to MAGA and I'm going to show y'all how it's really done. I think she's trolling them. Honestly, don't think that she's like, yeah, they got her in pictures and stuff like that. Words mean things. That is true. That is true. But also, having political power is different than having quote unquote fame. What's up, Addicted? Having political power is different than having fame. The fame didn't get her a citizenship. Her capping for Trump, got her citizenship. It got her a pathway to citizenship. Now, a lot of people are thinking that, her husband is going to get pardoned or her brother, but those are state cases. The only thing that Trump can do is try to influence the governor to do that. But if it's all in New York, I highly doubt that's going to fly. But that would have to come from the governor for a pardon and stuff like that, because it's a state. Those are state cases. So I don't think they can do anything really. Like, it just they're just kind of SOL. But again, this puts her on a different platform. But my only question is, what is Trump's favorite Nicki Minaj song? Hello? What's their favorite Nicki Minaj song? And on top of that, is this going to translate to album sales? Are they going to buy her music now? Does MAGA want to buy her music? And then also, too, is she going to be talking about the same stuff, or is she going to make a gospel album? Because, she's a Christian now. I don't remember hearing anything about God or Christ in her music. Now, I'm not saying there's probably not one song that mentions something about God, but I don't think she's a Christian artist. So are you still going to be talking about sex and stuff like that? Or is is it going to change? And then are we going to see them boys in pink outfits, pink wigs, pink high heels? Because that's really your base right there. People like the DL Whisperer, that's your base right there. You can't alienate your base. And it's so crazy because the way that Nicki Minaj is weaponizing Christianity is the same way that the white people weaponize Christianity. Y'all not ready for that conversation. Y'all not ready for that one. That means she would have to change her name. Yeah, because her name is, right, Susie, her name is a play on words. Oh, she has one with Tasha Cobb. One. But is she going to come out with a Christian album now? Yeah, her name is a play on words. So is she going to change her name now? I'm just saying. Darling Nikki. She going to have to change her name. And it was so funny because I didn't watch the whole thing, but Trump said like, oh yeah, I didn't know who Nikki was. And they said she was a fan. Yeah, he doesn't know who she is. Has no clue. But I mean, now he does. And I think what's so funny is that the right will always talk about, oh, the Democrats, they love celebrities and all this other stuff, and like, oh, all they do is try to get celebrities to convince people to vote. But it's all like, so the Republicans don't do the same thing. They also don't get people to, you know, they don't get celebrity. Now, the thing is that the Republicans don't have likable celebrities. So Nicki, with, you know, that she has, she's more of a likable. Oh shoot, that was MAGA. They attacked my internet. Can y'all still see me? Put a 1 in the chat if you can still see me. Yeah. Dean Cain, is that the guy who used to be Superman? You know, do y'all like him? Julian Michaels, you know, it's kind of like, it's not real popular people. It's kind of like nobodies that they really have, like people who are irrelevant. They don't really have big name celebrities. So this is like the first time they got someone with some kind of relevancy. I mean, Amber Rose, did you care about her? No. Ray J, did you care about him? No. I was going to say Kanye, you know, had clout, but also Kanye was, you know, off his rocker. Now, I know some of y'all been all like, AT2, did you see his letter that he wrote? Yes, I did see his letter. And I want to say this to Kanye. Fuck you. No, that's all I got to say. That's my speech. There we go. Yeah, I did. Don't care. Don't care, and it's still fuck you. You know, trying to blame it on your accident that, oh, well, it's because of my accident. That's why it led to. I want to say this. I'm going to say this right now because, you know, white people will use this excuse too. Mental health does not make you racist. Mental illness does not make you racist. I'm going to say that one more time. Mental illness does not make you racist. That's not a side effect of having a mental illness being racist. Now, you know, technically you could say, oh, well, you must be mentally ill if you have hatred in your heart and stuff like that. I get that argument. But, you know, if that's the case, then everybody with a mental illness be walking around being racist. Like, it's not. No. It's not. There's plenty of people who have mental illnesses and they're not racist. Like, it doesn't, no. Nice try. But yeah, Kanye would have been the only person with some kind of relevancy, but then like he kind of, you know, Snoop Dogg, fuck him. Nelly, a double, triple fuck. And you know, Ludacris, I guess he dropped out of that. So he was supposed to be performing at some country event or something like that. Nelly is still performing, but Ludacris, this is what I'm going to say. This is what I'm going to say. And if you get offended, oh well, I don't care. But a lot of people will do this whole thing like, oh, you know, I'm apolitical. I don't really talk about politics and stuff like that. Just know that they are Republican. Just know. If they say, oh, I'm not really into politics, I don't like to talk about that stuff, you know, it's very divisive and oh, no. They're Republican, just know. Because somebody who's independent, they'll be like, oh, I'm an independent. Somebody who's a Democrat, they'll tell you I'm a Democrat or, you know, whatever, or liberal, whatever, blah, 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 right? But if they say, oh, no, I don't talk about, I don't really, no. They doing all that and they got to go around and around in a circle to say that they don't follow politics or they don't get into that, they're Republican. Just know. Just know. Don't be fooled by it. So that's how I feel about Ludacris. Like, don't be fooled by it. Like, that's basically what it means. So, what about 50 Cent? 50 Cent can burn in hell. 50 Cent, listen, I think the trolling got to a point like it was funny, and then it's kind of like, it's kind of corny and cheesy now. You know, this is a 50-year-old some man trolling on the internet. I'm over it. You know, this kind of leads into my conversation that I'm gonna have on Twitch. I'm over the antics. I'm done with it. I think I got too grown, and I'm way too mature for the antics. Like, I don't want no parts no more. That's how I feel. Yeah, because I unfollowed 50 Cent a long time ago. So 50 Cent, Snoop, all the content creators that are with that MAGA shit, I unfollowed them. Anybody in my personal life, which is very few. All the former coworkers and stuff like that, I don't talk to them now. So block, deleted. You know, everybody who was not good for my mental health had to go. They got shown the door. They all out the door, you know. But we'll talk more about that on Twitch. So make sure you guys are following me on Twitch. I'm gonna go ahead and set up the show right after I end the stream. So make sure you guys, Demetria, do you have the link for Twitch? Hold on, let me show y'all my Twitch real quick. Hold on. Okay, there we go. There we go. She got it right there. And also, for those of you guys just joining the show, rest in peace to Beauty to the Streets, aka Miss Shirley. She passed away. I went ahead and pinned up the link if you guys want to donate to her foundation. They go around feeding the homeless in Nevada and in Southern California. She was one of the people who did great work and like is an inspiration because I've always wanted to know how like you can help the less fortunate. And you know, it's like one of those things like, okay, well, you have to have a business license, you have to do this and do that. She was just out there doing it. So hopefully it inspires you guys to get out there and help somebody. And also, don't forget, you guys, the meetup is on April 12th through the 10th. Please be there. We're going to have a lot of fun. Of course, I got to bring a few friends with me because people talking about they're going to show up and jump me and fight me. Oh, yeah. Trust me. I'm coming with backup. So y'all can pull up if you want to try something, pull up and see what happened. All right. Love y'all. We out of here. Deuces, y'all.